Hey, do you want to write a book? Do you have a book that you're actually printing through another printer? Well, in this checklist, I'm going to go over what it's like to use my printer, KDPcom. Come on, let's check it out. Like I said, do you want to write a book? Have you written a book? But haven't yet decided how you'll go about printing your book and getting it sold on Amazon.com and other online bookstores? Are you currently with another printer and want to leave them for whatever reason? Well, if you haven't thought about using KDP.com like me, then you should. I've written 25 books and printed them all using KDP.com, and I won't use another printer to accomplish my self-publishing goals. I've also referred several friends and clients to KDP.com too. Now, real quick, I'm going to share with you the positives I've experienced self-publishing through KDP.com compared to using all other printers. And there are a lot out there, and I've seen them. And then I'm going to go right into my checklist on how to prepare your book files for printing through KDP.com, just like I do. Now, do note, I have 20 video tutorials about this whole process on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check them out. Now, the benefits of printing your manuscript or your book, same thing, with KDP.com like me. Well, number one, they have the highest profits paid to you for listing your books on Amazon.com through this printer and from a wholesale purchase account that you're going to get when you create your account with KDP.com. They got the best prices. You could buy your book at cost, which is great. And then they also give you a pretty good royalty profit for your book. And they pay you on time. There's been some people that I know who've had their book with other printers and they're still owed royalty payments. Not good, no. Number two, telephone support. To answer your questions or to handle specific printer problems, matters like that, their telephone customer support is amazing. I've called them several times for the littlest things, and they're so nice and they're so helpful. Telephone support. I've not heard of a lot of other printing companies that have telephone support, not like KDP.com. Number three, you could order one book or several books and ship them to one or multiple locations. This is great if you take individual orders from your website or just want to ship books to different people across the country. Just enter the quantity of books you want to send to someone, enter their name, shipping address, you pay the wholesale rate, the cost for your book, and not the retail pricing, plus shipping, and place your order. Your book will ship to them in 1 to 2 weeks. Number four, unlimited changes to your manuscript and covers. This is worth millions. Simply upload a revised version of your manuscript with unlimited changes and submit those files for approval and done. Oh, again, there's no charge for this. And I've had several of my books needing updates, corrections. I found new errors, and I got to fix those manuscripts, resubmit them, get them approved, and voila, no charge. I love it. Number five, you can order as many proofs of your book as you like. KDP.com will charge you an inexpensive wholesale rate based on page count. So for example, if your book has a page count of 136 pages, one book might cost you wholesale about $2.50 to order versus other printers that will give you one proof and then they charge you $30 for each proof thereafter. Well, what if you have 3 people reviewing a proof of your book? You'd be charged, $90 for 3 books? I don't think so. What if you have multiple submissions and you need more proofs? In my experience, no printer can compete with KDP.com when it comes to this small quantity, little task and request. Number 6, my printer, KDP.com, their online digital proofing tool helps you proof your own books. This I really like. Page by page, locate errors, and then fix them in minutes. This gets your books approved faster because you're not wasting time sending the printer books with errors in it, only for them to tell you that there's errors, and then you go back. There's no back and forth. You see the errors, you go fix them. You resubmit the files in minutes. You see errors, you fix them. And once you're done and there's no more errors, you're set to submit the files to the printer, KDP, for approval. Number 7, free ISBN numbers for your books if you choose not to use your own. I say, save your money. Use the KDP.com issued ISBN number for all your books. Number 8, with KDP.com and their free expanded distribution, your book will be listed with Baker & Taylor, Ingram bookstores, online retailers, libraries, and academic institutions. My printer, KDP.com, also lists your book with 20,000 plus outlets online. That's just like amazing. And around the world, Japan, Great Britain, Italy, everywhere, Australia, Canada. Number 9, royalties are paid every 30 days and deposited right into your bank account. Gotta love it. And number 10, you can add new titles as you write new books. All the royalties for these new books sold just add up and they get deposited in your bank account every 30 days. And I like how you can have all your books consolidated into one account. That's really cool. So for me, self-publishing through KDP.com is a win-win-win, win-win-win for me, them, and me. And the same for you. Now, how to use my printer, KDP.com, for printing your book like I do. Now remember, I have 20 video tutorials on this whole process here. Be sure to check them out. I'm just going to cruise through this, what I call a checklist, so you get the basic idea of what's going on. Look at this kind of like a global overview of the procedures to get your book printed through KDP.com. Then when you're like, okay, I get it. That was pretty cool. Thanks, Bart. Then go check out the video tutorials and learn even more by watching, seeing, listening, and learning. It's good stuff. Okay, so how to use my printer, KDP.com, for printing your book like I do. But the concept here is this. Number 1, if you're currently with another printer, I recommend you terminate services with them and allow KDP.com to print and distribute your book. Notify the printer you're with that you would like to discontinue your relationship with them. Just tell them you're hiring someone to work on your book and they'll be taking over the publishing and the printing. Say no more than that. Request all your book files that rightfully belong to you be sent to you, via email. If there's a small fee, that's all right, pay it. Once you have your files, don't terminate your account with them just yet. Get established with KDP.com first, and successfully. Once your book is published through KDP.com and you see it for sale on Amazon.com, and it's the book linked to your KDP account, then you can go and terminate your relationship with your previous publisher so they do not make any more sales for you of your book and you will no longer receive royalties from them. All new book publishing and sales activity will go through KDP.com, which is also Amazon.com. And this process can take anywhere between, I'm going to say, 2 to 4 weeks, because you've got about a week working with your files to get them ready for KDP submission. You submit them, you wait for the review, you order some books, you get them in hand, you check for errors, etc. Just trust me on this. It's a 2 to 4 week process. But that is kind of the steps, step by step, to leave your former printer and come on over to KDP.com. Now, step number 2, and I got a video on this, okay? Just click this link and it'll take you to that video. Create a free account with my printer over at KDP.com, which will soon hold all your book titles. Don't create separate accounts per book title or break up your different book title royalties into different accounts. No. If you work with clients, don't put their book titles in your account. Create individual accounts for their books. If you co-authored a book, create a separate account for that book so you both have access to its book files, changes, and royalties. Don't let other people into your personal KDP.com account, and don't mix royalty payments with other people. It can be messy. Number 3, got another video here. Enter your first book title, whether it's an ebook, paperback book, or hardback book, for printing through KDP.com, and follow the prompts that they say to complete. And if you just watch my video, it'll walk you through those prompts. It'll show you what's up ahead for you. Number 4, and I got another video. Prepare and upload your book files, cover and interior pages, to be printed with KDP.com by generating 2 separate PDF files. One PDF file for the interior pages and another PDF file for the back, spine, and front cover files. If you need help creating a book cover or formatting the interior pages of your book, you can either do it yourself if you know how and you have the skills, like me, or you can hire someone off, Fiverr.com. And there are so many people out there that have worked with KDP.com. They know the system inside and out. And if you're working with someone who has some of these skills, but you think they could, maybe they can use a little refresher, let them watch my videos. Okay? All right. Step number 5. After you upload your book files to KDP, proof your newly uploaded files digitally using their online previewer online within your web browser. If there are errors, which KDP.com will tell you, you'll need to fix them. Fix those errors, then re-upload your book files until they're 100% free of errors. If your book files have no errors upon review, then you are free to save your work and proceed to the last tab where you can establish pricing and set royalty amounts for your book and distribution locations. Once that's done, submit your files for review and wait 24 hours for a response from KDP. If KDP accepts your files, then you are free to move to step number 6 below. Otherwise, if you have errors, you got to fix them and you got to resubmit your book files all over again. But it's the same procedure again and again and again. So it's like routine. Number 6, and here's a video. Once your book interior pages and cover files are approved for printing, you can order author copies. Do note, do not order a proof. They will give you that choice. Don't do it because they only allow you to order a minimum quantity and the word proof is printed on the last page. I don't like that. Instead, just order author copies and send yourself 3 books, for example. One for you, one for your editor, and one for a friend to proof in hand. Step number 7. Got another video here. Once you receive your books in hand, proof them with a red pen and return all the books to the person in charge of correcting those errors in the book in preparation for a new submission, as described in step number 4 above. Now, approve your book digitally and then order copies that can be shipped to one or more locations. If my printer finds mistakes and doesn't approve your book for printing, you'll be directed to fix them, such as, alignment, and then, resubmit those files for another review. Make any necessary changes and resubmit the files for, again, another review session. Step number 8. After proofing your book in hand and making the changes in the actual book files, resubmit your newly corrected book files in PDF format again to KDP.com for approval. So this is like a second submission of your files after they've been proofed in hand. You had a book in your hand, red pen, you made a lot of corrections. Step number 9. Once your files are approved, you can now feel so much better knowing that your book is filled with as few errors as possible. Now you can tell all your friends and family, clients and customers to go buy your book off Amazon. You might order 10 copies yourself, author copies, to keep on hand in case anyone wants to buy one, or you've got plans to attend events and you just want to have books on hand to sell. And let me make that very clear. When your book is blessed for the first time, do not tell people to go buy it. When your book is blessed for the first time and you can order author copies, tell no one, but go and order them for yourself. Get the books in hand. Find more errors. There's always going to be errors. There just always is, always will be. Make those corrections, then resubmit the book a second time with those newly corrected changes done so that when your friends do go and order the book, it's been cleaned up a few times. And even if your book's been cleaned up before with the other printer, it's just always good to check things and make sure everything looks good, etc. And number 10, I got a checklist here for you. Now it's time to start marketing your book and start making money as a new author using KDP.com. Hey, in advance, congratulations. Now, this checklist is a Google Doc, and you are free to access it and print it. And all you got to do is go over to this link right here where it says download and print this checklist in the descriptions box underneath this video. And go ahead and click that link, and this will allow you to access the free Google Doc version of this checklist for your use. Go ahead and hit File, make a copy for yourself, email it to yourself as a Word doc, download it to yourself and your computer as a Word doc, or just print it. Print this checklist when you access it, and print it so you have it in hand, and you can read it in your spare time. Or if you want the print version, the paperback version of my checklist book, which contains all the other 70 plus checklists, you can order that off Amazon by clicking on this link. And then that takes you to Amazon, where you can order my checklist book with over 70 essential business checklists. They'll mail it to you. This is like a manual. You'll have this 8.5 by 11 manual size book in hand for your use and review. And that's it. Hey, I hope this book printer checklist answered a lot of questions that you might have about printing books and using KDP.com to print your book like I do. Hey, again, I hope it helps.